everybody know a pedophile. In this room right now, if we really turned on there's somebody in this room, it's probably 3 niggas that's fucking children.
Alright, there we go. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, there's 2 omnipotent beings, right? You said they can do anything, right?
Anything logically possible.
Anything logically possible. Yeah, anything logically possible. If there was some being, if there was an omnipotent being, if there's 2 omnipotent beings, there could be one omnipotent being that just would have to have like, what's a way I can like describe this to you? I don't know. Two omnipotent beings will limit one omnipotent being's potential, right? Because if they don't have the potential to be all powerful, by all powerful, you're the most powerful, you're not the most powerful, there's a being who's just as powerful as you are, right? Like, that's like saying you're the strongest, but yet there's somebody who's just as strong as you are, right? That doesn't really work.
Well, I don't see why they can not both be classified as the strongest beings in conjunction. Because I believe they would have. I believe they would inherently have to share a ontology, because I believe any omnipotent being must be ontologically perfect.
Yeah, okay. When you say they can both be the strongest, right? That would just mean they're stronger than the rest. But when we talk about strongest in reference to omnipotent, when we say all powerful, right? That means you have the most power out of everyone, right? So we just contradict like the totality of being omnipotent within itself, because by definition, if you're omnipotent, you can be logically possible, and you would be considered the being that's all powerful, that has the most power.
Well, the thing is,
the most power. You would just be strong. You would just be stronger than a certain. You would just have power over a certain set.
Okay. Yeah, I already addressed this, but I'll say it again. I think you have to have a perfect ontological status to actually be omnipotent. For example, having negative theology.
Really
hold on,
that doesn't really attack anything.
I wasn't done. To have a perfect ontological status, I don't think you can have any property be applicable to you. For example, X character is good. That would be a false proposition, because you cannot describe X character if they are inherently perfect. But if you're saying, hold up, I wasn't done.
Wait, if you're saying that all you're just describing to me is
chill, bro. Damn, nigga. Let him finish.
Oh, that's Kxge?
Yeah.
I didn't realize. Oh shit. Anyways, what I'm saying is that to have a perfect perfect being, you must inherently be omnipotent, and so fucking so far with the others. But when you're saying that, they must be 2 limits, I'm just saying that they're going to ontologically be so similar to the point where they could just be in conjunction with each other. So 2 omnipotent beings technically are technically 2 beings, but they're still just have the same ontological status.
What do you mean by the same ontological status?
As in, they have the same properties of being.
Yeah. I don't think they can be different people and have the same being. I just think in order to have the same being, you have to be the same.
In order to have the same being, they have to be the same.
You have to be identical. Yeah.
Well, I'm saying, that's not what I'm saying though. I'm not saying that they are directly the same being. I'm just saying they're so like each other. They'd be presented as the same, or have the same ontological status.
By the way, also, when you were trying to say that we're ontologically perfect, they can't really be described. If you want to say that, you would have to give up them being, omnipotent.
Why so?
Yeah, because that's a description for them.
Oh, so that's what you're saying? Yeah, no, I don't think you can. I think you can. So what I'm about to say sounds really weird, but what I'm saying is I think you can describe certain aspects of something. If you're gonna say like a perfect ontology is, you can't describe anything about this person,
it's just
then
special pleading.
Hold on. Yeah, the reason why I say this is because I believe existence is a property. I believe if you're saying that things exist or something is based, then you're applying a property to them. I think fucking I think omnipotence is simply just a state of being. Same with perfect ontology. So if you're saying that a character has perfect ontology, aka they exist, then you're also saying that they have to be omnipotent because they are synonymous with each other.
Yeah, okay, but that just sounds like special pleading now. You're just saying in some cases, there will be cases where you can't describe them, and other cases
I'm
you have
saying
to describe them.
additional property. I'm saying properties like good or bad cannot be applicable to them. But state of
Yeah,
being,
why?
we're
Wait,
having to deal
yeah,
with
wait,
stating
why?
why, because that's
Yeah,
just
why is that any different?
that's how negative theology goes. I don't really know.
I mean, okay, that just sounds like special pleading. I'm just saying, like, negative theology just sounds like really hypocritical and really like it's just making certain cases for one another. So then we would just
I think
either say negative theology
I think I already
conflict.
gave a reason why it wouldn't just be I think I already gave a reason why it wouldn't be applicable to what the fuck. Sorry, my memory. Um,
Yeah,
I think I
you
already
tried to
gave a
say they're
reason.
ontologically perfect, and then ontologically perfect would apply negative theology. But I'm saying if that's what you're saying ontological perfection is, then I don't think nobody can have it just because of the fact that you would have to, or
I
nobody
th-
can have it because you would have to give up the fact that they're not omnipotent, right?
okay. Yeah, that's the
And
thing though.
you
I think omnipotence has to deal with state of being. Omnipotence is, if omnipotence is a state of being, then it just relates to their ontology, and we already know that these characters. I believe you wouldn't disagree that these characters exist, or that you can posit that these characters exist. Correct?
yeah, okay, but then that goes back to my point. It still doesn't really attack my point, where it's more of just still of a special pleading case. For some properties, it can't be described, but for other properties like state of being properties, it can be described, which just really seems like, oh, you're just making an exception just to help your argument here. There's no real reason why this would actually be an
I
exception.
think I think existence is a much different property than everything else, like good or evil. Like I gave for example, I think you to inherently say that oh this character is this, you inherently have to posit that this character or this character exists. However, to say that oh this character is this, you would
You can you
inherently
can you can say
say that.
Rapunzel is longer hair than Santa, and Rapunzel nor Santa don't exist.
Mm, what?
Yeah,
I don't think
you can apply.
in a physical context, then yeah, but in a like conceptual context, no.
What do you mean in this conceptual context?
For a character to I think if you're saying that a character doesn't exist at all, then they have no existence at all. So if they exist conceptually, metaphysically, or physically, then yes, they exist by some metric. Which you are saying that these characters have a identification, ergo that implies a
Yeah,
conceptual
yeah,
nature.
yeah. They exist conceptually. Okay, I agree. But okay. Then again, we would just be like, okay, that just means all you're just really saying there is to apply any property. It's just to assume the
I said
property
that.
of existence, right? But
I ain't
that
gonna lie, I
doesn't
stopped
really
listening
explain.
for a bit. What's going on right now?
Oh, we're just talking about ontology, pretty much.
Ontological perfection or some shit like
Yep.
that?
Yep.
Tokyo, what's your point?
Pretty much, I'm saying that ontological perfection and omnipotence are inherently synonymous with each other. To posit that a character exists, you must inherently or to posit that that a character has omnipotence, you must say that they have perfect ontology.
What he's
Okay,
saying,
and
perfect ontology is just apathetic theology, right?
Mhm.
apatheticism. Okay,
Hmm.
and how is this supposed to be refuting the two omnipotent things can't exist at the same time? Or
Pretty
you're
much
saying if there is two, they're the same shit?
every single character that is omnipotent must share or must share similar properties to omnipotence to the point where they could be in conjunction to each other.
So you're basically saying if there's two omnipotent niggas, supposedly they're just the same nigga.
Pretty much.
Like,
Yeah. Okay.
okay.
I just want to
And Kage, what's your
last this
point?
off. My point is that there's two omnipotent people It would limit the others' omnipotence by definition, because omnipotence is to be the most to be all powerful. Like you're the most powerful. Like for
I get
example, if
that.
there's
How
a
is this
if
supposed
there
to attack the? There's no distinction between the two if there is supposedly two omnipotent things.
no, he agreed there's a distinction. He's just saying they're just so similar in the way that they're omnipotent that they can just both be omnipotent.
Tokyo,
I
you
don't
agree
really
there's a
understand what
distinction?
that means.
I'm saying that. Oh, okay. When I said that they are so similar to the point where they might as well be the same thing, I'm pretty much saying that the distinction is so small or so like not there or not out the way. It's like almost not non-existent. When I think of an omnipotent being, I think they have an avatar. To obviously that is physical, so they can interact with similar with things. Because if they're positing like they exist in the story, they would obviously have to have some narrative
Yeah,
direction
no,
or
I
some
get where you're coming
things with the
from.
narrative.
So, I think this just goes into what is the distinction. Boom, bam, bop. Y'all can continue
Okay.
from there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
okay.
think the
We can
distinction. I
do
think the distinction is I think the
we can
distinction.
even say, hold on, I was trying to clarify. We can say the
Go ahead.
distinction is something even as appearance, maybe personhood, maybe certain traits, maybe certain
Mm-hmm.
mental states, consciousness, all of those things. Those can be the distinction. And then you would say the distinction is so small, even though there's so many distinction given, as it would be such a such different beings, right?
Um, just so just so just so you know, I think the distinction is just the way they present themselves, as in the avatars they choose to have. Ugh.
Yeah, okay. Their will can also be distinct. Like, for example, there can be an omnipotent being who maybe wants to interact people, or there can be an omnipotent being who doesn't want to interact with people. Like, their will can
Sure.
be distinct, the way they think can be distinct. That would
I
all
think
be creating a big distinction between who they are in terms of beings. So it really just defeats your point. And go back on the negative theology thing, to because when we were talking about the negative theology thing, Shards, I was kind of saying that if he says that uh they have negative theology or whatever, right? Then you would have to concede omnipotence, because omnipotence would be describing a property. And then he was saying that, oh, omnipotence would be pre-assuming existence, and then that in that case you can describe them, but you can't describe them with really any other properties. And I was like, well, that's more just like a special pleading case, because you can't really present to me why I should accept that, oh, there's a distinction in the way you can describe being omnipotent and also just other properties like being funny or being tall.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in response to that, I said that omnipotence is just is not an inherent property, but just a state of being. Which I do think existence is a property, but not in the same context of like something like being tall and shit.
So
Wait,
you say it's a
like,
state of being.
Yeah.
So when you say he exists, you think the statement he exists is like equivalent to the statement he is omnipotent?
Yes. Or not in the
no.
same, and not in the same way that, not in the same way that like fucking.
He's just saying, in order to say he's omnipotent, he would also have to say he exists. But that's the same with any other property.
Yeah, I
You
was
would
gonna say
have to,
it depends on
I'm
how he
yeah,
not.
defines exist, because he says omnipotence is a state of being. Like, are you saying like it is his state of being, like his state of being, as in his existence, is omnipotence, or
I
you're
think
just saying it's
I'm
a,
pretty sure this was already
an
said in the
add-on to his
debate, but
existence?
I think perfect ontology and omnipotence are inherently synonymous.
Hmm.
So to be perfect, have perfect ontology, which
So
I
his
think is just
ontology
perfect.
is omnipotence,
Yes.
is what you're saying. Okay.
yeah, and then and then you're just okay. So he's just saying that that's his essentials, right? That's all
Are
he's
you
saying
asking me
by
or
his
Tokyo?
ontology. Yeah, I'm asking you.
So at least how I'm understanding it. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tokyo. Uh, perfect ontology. The perfect ontology means basically epiphatic. However, at least from what I'm hearing from Tokyo, Tokyo, correct me if I'm wrong. He's not denying that this apophatic thing exists. It exists, but it exists as omnipotence, and
Yep.
the omnipotence would be synonymous with apophatic theology, or the perfect ontology, which is apophatic theology.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I would be saying, okay, well, even if you want to say that, still, I really don't see how that defeats my point about still it being a special pleading case, because even if you want to say that, you can say, the essentials for me is to be a nigger or whatever, right? And then you would say because I'm apathetic or whatever, right?
Hmm.
Uh, that you can't really describe that for me. So it really wouldn't
Okay.
matter.
Well, it depends on whether or not you think saying something exists is a description of the thing. So let me, y'all
I
can
do.
argue on this. This is not, like, I can't give my personal take on it, but y'all can argue on that if y'all want to. Because if when he says, this thing is omnipotent, that's equal to the statement he's saying, it exists. That's equal to the statement it's has perfect ontology. All of those things are basically the same proposition.
Yeah,
It's just different
I
wording.
don't think they're all the same propositions, by the way.
That's how he's arguing it,
I
at
would,
least from my understanding.
yeah, yeah, okay. If you're arguing it like that, I don't agree to those being the same proposition, just different wording.
What's up?
I would think to say he is
I was about to say I
omnipotent would
could be wrong
assume
on
he
my
exists.
interpretation of his argument.
Yeah, if you're saying
That is very true.
all of
Uh,
yeah, okay. If you're saying that like these propositions are all identical, I wouldn't agree with that
What's up?
because to say because he can exist without being omnipotent. That would be saying like every being that exists is omnipotent if they're
Well,
identical.
to say that, like, I
It
should
just
try to, I should try to,
the correct way to word it would be that to say he's omnipotent is to assume he exists, right?
yeah.
Okay, so
However, what I'm saying
that wouldn't
is,
be the same as being identical.
yeah. So what I'm saying, the entire thing I was saying is that, to presuppose that he exists is to presuppose, or to presuppose that he is omnipotent is to presuppose that he exists. To presuppose that he is omnipotent as well, you would have to you would have to inherently say that he has perfect ontology. However, just because something exists, obviously it's not obviously perfect. Just because something exists does not mean it's ontologically perfect. Um, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying so far. If I think
Wait,
I fucked.
repeat the first part.
I'm saying that just because something exists does not mean it's omnipotent or all powerful. However, what I am saying is that to say that something is perfect in ontology is to presuppose that they are um ontological
Existent.
yeah, yes, but that and
Okay,
also that they
but
are all powerful.
yeah, but and then here we go again that it would just lead to apathetic theology just being contradictory by nature because I just think that would be an incoherent statement, incoherent with logic.
Why
It would
so
just be
exactly
positing
again?
the yeah, it would just be positing a P and not P at the same time. And
Oh,
you can't describe that this thing exists, but in order to say that this thing is apathetic, you have to describe that this thing exists.
okay. Why is that a P not P?
Are you serious? Are you trolling?
I may just not be tracking your argument, but do you
Yeah,
mind just
okay.
repeating it?
Yeah, yeah, okay. Because with how I explained it, you would have to be saying that you can't describe that he exists. But in order to say that he is apathetic, you would have to inherently be describing that he exists. Unless you can like really give me some real motivation, like that suggests why there really can be some exceptions for people.
I think to identify something, you would inherently have to say that they exist.
Yeah, okay, that's the point. It's a P and not P just because of that.
If you think, yeah, if you think
Yeah, because you
identification,
can't because if they're apathetic, they can't be described by properties, or they can't be described uh by any property, right? And if they exist, they're being described by some sort of property, or if they're apathetic, they're being described by some sort of property while not being described by some sort of property. It's just like weird and
I
incoherent.
think existence is a necessary property though.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. It's a necessary property, but that still suffices for my point of your statement is incoherent.
Then I think we could just conclude here.
Yeah, okay. Charles, do you like have a belief on using them.
Wait. What was the last point? I was not listening.
Pretty much, I'm just saying that existence is a necessary property. He's saying that even if it is a necessary property, it's still a property. Ergo, it's still a contradiction.
Yeah, I'm saying his statement's incoherent because in order to say that his character is apathetic, right, he would have to say that his character he would have to say that his character cannot be described by existence, but his character also simultaneously is described by existence just by him being apathetic. That's just going to be an incoherent statement just from that fact alone.
I don't know if I can conclude off of this. Did y'all even go over whether or not existence is a description? Because if y'all go
I
conclude
think
right
I
now,
think
my shit is incon because two y'all are presupposing two things that neither of y'all went over with each other. It's like
I think
Well,
I think we
do you think
agreed that
existence? Well, do you
oh,
think
you
to
agreed
say
that
something?
existence is a description?
I think
Yeah.
yeah, I think we both like presupposed that that was true.
Then you lost.
Okay then.
Wait, what's happening? What's up?
Me and Kage debated.
Unless you define apatheticism differently, then yeah, you wouldn't win that point.